What's up, guys? So this week we saw a big attack on coconut oil from the American Heart Association, and there was I think there was a presidential advisory against it. I'm not sure, but do you know that the American Heart Association said that coconut oil is not healthy and has never been healthy? And we saw all these headlines saying, "Don't eat coconut oil, stay away from coconut oil," and and then in response, we saw a lot of ranting on YouTube, a lot of angry YouTubers, a lot of angry people, a lot of angry coconut oil lovers, and then some people who are like, "Well, I told you so. Coconut oil's fat. It was never good for you. There's the evidence." It's not a very good imitation of anybody, except I think there was a Muppet character that sounded like that. Anyways, coconut oil, here's the thing, guys. When we think of doctors, and this is what I want you to understand about doctors, and this is what I want you to understand about the current medical establishment. Nothing that they do right now is based on anything that's meant to cure you or to prevent you from getting any disease. What doctors do is they treat symptoms. They try to induce comfort. And there are very few, if any, medical technologies out there. And I'm not telling you not to go to your doctor. I'm not telling you not to take medicine. But there are very few medical technologies out there that are meant to do anything but fix you once you're already broken. That's my problem with the medical establishment. That's been my experience from being a patient with ulcerative colitis in the past. And what I've found is that almost everything that they've ever presented to me or loved ones has not fixed me or loved ones. It has mainly just attenuated symptoms. Any improvement in my state has always been by going outside of the medical establishment. It has been by improving my diet. It has been by improving my nutrition. So with that said, and again, I'm not telling you not to go to your doctor, let's talk about this coconut oil issue. There were many native populations who ate coconut oil, who ate coconuts as a main staple in their diets. And those populations did not get heart disease until they were introduced to the Western diet. Beyond this, the research since 2010, I believe, and I've written about this many times, I've talked about it on this channel many times, suggests that coronary heart disease does not evolve from saturated fat blocking your arteries. The research is actually demonstrating that coronary heart disease is a chronic inflammatory condition by which your arteries stiffen up and then they get thinner. Now, I could say this over and over and over again, but I don't think that the American Heart Association or anybody who still holds on to the lipid hypothesis is going to change their minds, especially not coming from me, a friggin' low-level YouTuber. And I can throw any bit of research or any bit of thing at them, and they probably aren't going to bend. But what this demonstrates to me, above anything else, is that our medical establishment, it really needs to be refined. It really needs to be, I guess there needs to be some sort of revolution here. Because if you understand scientific paradigms, and if you ever read Thomas Kuhn, Kuhn, The Origin of Scientific Revolutions, I believe the title of the book's called, there are no paradigm shifts occurring despite disconfirming evidence for the main hypotheses proposed by doctors. And let's think about doctors and what they're doing, right? The way they're educated, they don't get educated on nutrition. They get educated. They get about an hour of nutrition education during their whole times in medical school. Now, there's definitely some nutritionists who conform to that mainstream establishment logic. But again, like I said, based off of numerous meta-analyses now, based off of, even T. Colin Campbell, the author of the China study, he said that saturated fat never should have been considered the issue. In his opinion, it's protein and the amount of protein that we eat that causes inflammation, that causes heart disease. But, I could talk till I'm blue in the face up here. And again, things aren't going to change. So what do we do? What are those of us who are, those of us who are trying to figure out the best way, what are we supposed to do? Well, here's the thing, ladies and gents. We live in a wonderful world where we have freedom of choice for the most part. Unless you live in certain select countries, we've got a lot of freedom of choice. You can smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, or you cannot smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. I choose not to. You can eat donuts, or you cannot eat donuts. And, based off of, what I've seen happens to family members who smoke cigarettes and eat donuts, I'm not going to do that either. But, knowing that there are many populations out there who've eaten coconut oil and who didn't have heart disease until they were introduced to a lot of Western ingredients, I'm going to put my money on coconut oil in this case. Really want to think for yourself on this one. And knowing that I've had a diet that is 80% fat, much of which is saturated over the past 4 or 5 years, and that since being on that diet, the symptoms of my ulcerative colitis have decreased, and every blood test that I've ever had has come back very normal. I'm not giving up the coconut oil. But that's my opinion. And you're free to disagree with me, and you are free to go out there and find your own truth on everything. You can bitch, you can complain, but it comes down to choice, and it comes down to being aware of what's going on in this world. And I, for one, am aware that the medical establishment is not trying to cure me of anything. They're not even trying to look at what is the root cause of my issue. What they're trying to do is basically, and I'll put this in the best terms possible for the medical establishment, they're basically trying to figure out how to relieve my symptoms. Because when you can relieve symptoms, you can immediately show people some sort of result, whether that is a result that's going to lead to them getting better or not doesn't make a difference. But when you can show people a result, then that can make you some money. And that's my 2 cents on this. Like I said, feel free to disagree. Let me know your thoughts. And that's that.